So you want to be OP? Well, I am here to help. All right, this time we're talking triangle strategy. This game, it is actually very difficult to become OP because they designed it that way. Uh, the, the way that experience works in this game is actually very different than a lot of the other tactical RPGs that I've played, in that the amount of experience that you get is based entirely off of the recommended level of the battle. Whereas in other tactical RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics, for instance, the amount of experience you get is based off of basically what level the character is that you use the action on. So like if you've got a character that's level 99 and you're like level 1 and you perform an action on that level 99 character, you're going to basically level immediately, right? And it's just it's actually very easy to boost up other characters that way. That is not the way that this game works. Experience is determined, again, like I said, by the recommended level of the battle. So, for instance, here in close quarters combat, if you're level 9, you're going to get a ton of experience here, right? You're probably 40 or something like that. And then at level 10, you'll probably still get right around 10 or something like that. 11, it'll drop off a bit more. And then, once you get into like 13, 14, you're basically only getting 1 experience per action you take. So, again, it drops off extremely quickly if you've over-leveled a stage. So, anyways, the way that this works is basically, though, keeping in mind that there is always a minimum experience amount that you can get, right, which is 1. So once you've over-leveled too much, you're pretty much looking at only getting 1 EXP. But anyways, for this process, you're going to want to have a couple of things here. Early on, you're really going to want to have the red scarf on, and keep in mind this is for Serenoa. I think other characters can do this, but nowhere near as effectively as Serenoa. But anyway, so like I said, you're going to have the red scarf. It says recover HP when you defeat an enemy. I don't remember which exploration phase this is found in, but it is found in one of the exploration phases. And it's pretty critical for this process early on. Again, once you get pretty leveled, though, you won't need this anymore, and you can drop that off for something like I've done here, and I've got a strength ring equipped instead. The other accessory that you're going to want to have is the golden pinky ring. It says increases the chance of enemies dropping spoils when defeated. That is huge. Basically, we're going to be able to amass a ton of weapon materials or weapon upgrade materials in this process. So you're definitely going to want to get that. That is bought right here at the Provisioner for 5,000 coins. One more thing here, actually we're going to need 2 more things, and one of them is found here at the Sundry Shop, and that's the Medal of Bravery. At this point in the game, so I'm actually at Chapter 7, Part 2, right before the big battle with Avlora. There's another, Chapter 7, Chapter 7, Part 2, but that's if you decide to surrender Roland. Basically, the Mental Mock battle appears at that point, so it doesn't actually matter which route you take, although I definitely prefer the protecting Roland route. So anyways, buy your hero medal, and then upgrade or promote Serenoa from veteran to... from recruit to veteran. The reason for that is... you get Sweeping Slash, and that's huge for this. This isn't completely necessary, so like if you've upgraded somebody else, that's fine, but it's going to really slow you down. Sweeping Slash is a pretty crucial part of this process. And then the nice thing, though, is he'll already have counter stance. This is amazing as well, so it says chance to deal a counterattack when attacked by an adjacent enemy. That's also going to really increase the speed of this process. And that's why I still say Serenoa is the best for this right now. It's just he's got so many tools that really help him for this part. The other item, or the last item, I should say, you get actually in Chapter 7, Part 1 during the exploration phase before the vote happens. And that is the silver material, and that is for Serenoa's weapon. And that will allow you to upgrade from weapon rank 1 to weapon rank 2. I've got everything here done for weapon rank 1, and then I've bought the increased damage. I didn't get the max HP because I don't have superior iron. That's not that material isn't available right now. But then I did also do the increased range of Hawk Dive by 1, and the increased luck by 2. Now, you know, when you first start the process, you're not going to have much of this at all. You'll probably, I don't know, maybe have 1 or 2 upgrades maybe done, just because there isn't that many materials available up until this point. But let's get started here. So we're going to be doing the close quarters combat. Very, very good, I mean amazing actually, mental mock battle for this point in the game, and this is the battle that makes this really all possible. Technically you could do some of these other ones, but it's going to be a lot slower, and the materials that you're going to get aren't going to be as good. So let's do this. I'm going to be doing this with Serenoa solo. So at first, you know, you can probably start out with Serenoa and then like maybe Gila or somebody else, right, to kind of assist him, but it becomes pretty quick that you don't even need to do that, and he'll be able to solo this on its own. So, oh, before I forget though, crank your battle settings down. I normally play on hard, but for this process, just grinding, just crank the difficulty down to very easy. You don't have to, right? If you've got a if you just want to do this on hard mode the whole time, I guess you could do that too. It's going to be miserable, but it's probably doable. But yeah, anyways, let's get this started, and hopefully I'll have a little bit better luck than I have had lately in getting spoils here. But let's do the sweeping slash right away. Yeah, 2 white bags. So white bags are only going to contain tier 1 weapon upgrade materials, whereas the blue bags will contain tier 2 weapon upgrade materials. It's looking not so good right now for weapon upgrade materials. All I'm seeing is white bags, so let's sweep and slash these guys. Yeah, I'm getting, that's crazy. I've done like 3 battles now in a row where I haven't seen any blue ones, so we'll do one more after this. This is... yeah, so that guy stepping on that bag means that that bag is lost. So you got to be really careful once the battle is kind of coming to a close, because the enemies will be able to, or specifically the... well, I always keep an archer alive. I think that they're the best ones to keep alive. Just because when you counterattack them, or I'm sorry, you can't counterattack them, right? And that means that you can run around and collect, because a lot of times you'll have a bunch of bags left over, right, that you'll have to run around and collect before the battle's over. And you need to do that because any bags that are left on the ground when the battle ends are lost. So similarly, unfortunately, the last enemy, you cannot get spoils from them. And on top of that, if they've grabbed any spoils that, you know, that did drop, those are lost then. So again, you have to be really careful in your last couple of turns. The thing though also is that, you know, if an enemy does pick up a bag, and again, as long as it's not one of the last ones, you can actually kill that enemy and reclaim those spoils that they've picked up. But again, the problem is if the battle ends and they're kind of still sitting on spoils, then you're done, and there's no way to get them at that point. There's finally a blue bag. That shield bearer is probably going to grab that, but that's alright. Yeah, so he grabbed it. Let's pick these up and just see. Yeah, secured 2 bags of spoils. So that'll be nice, right? I'll get at least you know, some of the tier 2 materials because of that. I like to do a light wave here at the end. And then I'm just going to move over to this bag as well and end my turn. Generally, if you're down to like 2 enemies like this, what you want to do is make sure that you can you know, kill the enemy and then move afterwards, right, to grab it. Because otherwise it's going to be really easy for this guy to grab your spoils. I'll do one more here and get a little bit more creative about using some quietuses. Generally, I like to do the, yeah, there's one, so I got 1 quality stone and the rest of those were tier 1 materials, so... again, you really just really be focused on those blue bags and making sure that you're grabbing those as soon as you can. And you can see here the process is actually pretty quick as well. Yeah, obviously I'm extremely leveled at this point, so that should be obvious that was going to happen. But yeah, that's what this is all about, though, right? Because it takes so many actions in order to level that you need to be as quickly, or you need to do this as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's, I mean, and it does get pretty miserable. I'll completely admit that. But all right, it's actually kind of nice when the enemy grabs the spoils, right? Because then they're kind of stacking them up for you. So yeah, these guys all have spoils basically. So I'm not going to use a sweeping slash here because it's just it's really likely that I'm gonna lose some then to that other guy picking them up. All right, so let's do some. I like to use like missed opportunity right now, right, to stop that guy. We'll use the silver sword here. I'm gonna grab this. Then I'm going to use Light Wave here. And then we'll move on to this one, and it's not very likely that this archer's, yeah, like we got another turn back to back anyway, so that ended up working out really well. And then unfortunately what I usually like to do here with the last enemy is get behind them and slash them, right, to get one extra kudo, but he put his back to the wall, so there was no way to do that. But yeah, so there it is. 1 quality iron, 1 quality stone, and then, you know, basically at least one of all of the tier 1 materials, and then 4,100 coins. So a really great way to farm cash and materials and get yourself insanely leveled. What am I? Yeah, 29 now. And you can see, again, you know, the battle is what, maybe a minute or so, and you're done. So that is it for this one. As always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.